Welcome back to Solid Strings Book 1. We're on page number 15. Page number 15. Now, all the cellos and the basses have already been working that fourth finger, but the violins and violas, our little pinky has not had anything to do this whole time except hang out over the string. Well, that's because our pinkies are weak. We'd have to strengthen those pinkies. So I'm going to ask you to please put down your bow, everybody. And we're going to bring your instrument up into ready position, from rest position. And you're going to have your hand on the neck of the instrument, fingers over the fingerboard, and you're going to take your right hand and drop it to your side. We're going to use the pinky of our left hand to pluck the string, because we have to build up the muscles in that little pinky. So we're going to pluck 4 times on the D string. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ooh, that kind of felt weird, didn't it? It feels weird because the pinky doesn't get to do a whole lot. Let's do that again. 4th finger pinky on the D string, using only your left hand. Your right hand's by your side. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, sometimes we jump over. Everybody does that. So we're finding that string and getting that pinky really strong. Let's try it again. Just on the D string. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do the same thing on the A string using 4th finger. Ready, go. Can we take 3 pizzicatos, 3 beats on the D string? 1, 2, ready, go. Let's do 3 on the A string. Ready, go. Can we do 2 on the D string? Ready, go. 2 on the A string. 1 on the D string, 1 on the A string. Ready, go. Oh, that was a workout. That's a lot for a pinky to do. That's probably one part of your body that doesn't get much exercise, but it is now. Oh my goodness, when we're string players, we have the strongest pinkies of anybody in town. So now we're going to take that, and the violins and violas are going to play on the A string and the D string using their 4th finger. By doing that, we've expanded their range. And they're thinking, well, why do I need to play 4th finger A on a D string, violins and violas, when I have a perfectly good open A string? Why should I work that hard? Because sometimes the music requires it. If it comes by quickly, you need to get that 4th finger. Or maybe you don't want the bright sound of the open string. So we have to use that 4th finger instead. So we're going to do this together. Now, while we're doing this, you can also, on the A string, get a brand new note, and with that, a new string. Adding 4th finger violins and a violin means that we can play 4th finger E that sounds just like our E string. Now, we have to be gentle with the E string because the E string can be annoying. It can sound scratchy. It can sound harsh. So I'm going to play an open E string, and I'm going to use my bow, sweeping the bow across. And I'm going to now take that E string and play it sticky staccato. I don't think anybody wants to hear staccato on the E string, unless we're trying to get that harsh sound. But if we play 4th finger on the E string, it sounds lovely. We talked earlier about those overtones. We're going to go back and talk about why we tuned our instruments, all 4 strings. We tuned all 4 strings so that those overtones can ring. So if I'm playing an E on the A string, we can hear the ring. If it's out of tune, if it's too low, no ring. If it's too high, no ring. But if it's in tune, it's going to ring out. Same thing on the D string. If I'm using fourth finger A on the D string, and it's in tune, it's going to ring, because the A string is going to recognize its pitch and vibrate to it. Just like if there were 3 little girls in the classroom and they were all called Kathy. And one was Kathy Jones, one was Kathy Smith, and one was Kathy Carbuncle. And I said, Kathy, I need to talk to you. All 3 little girls would look at me. But if I said, Kathy Jones, I need your attention, please, she would immediately resonate with her own name. And that's what happens with the notes. It rings. If the A is not in tune, doesn't ring, doesn't ring. It rings. Same thing happens with your third finger G. And this is for all the instruments. If you have an A, an E, a D, or a C for the viola and cello, an E for the violins and bass, they're going to ring when you play well in pitch. So we're going to expand your musical knowledge and your musical ability by being able to use all of your fingers on the string. So we're going to start off. The contrabasses, you get to expand your note range on the G string with fourth finger B on the G. Rachel, can we hear fourth finger B on the G, please? Now we're going to work our way up to that, Rachel, so I'm going to ask you to play number 65, Next Steps, so that we can hear your notes. Beautiful. Now we're going to ask Rachel to play, I'm going to ask the cellos to do the same thing, because you get to do something very special, cellos and basses. You get what's called a moving line. The moving line actually creates more interest. It supports the melody by having something more interesting. So I'm going to ask our cellist Karen to please play number 65 for us. That's different. Can I have the cello and the bass together play number 65? And you're going to hear the melody and the supporting moving line. Isn't that beautiful? Now we're going to add to this a little bit for the violin and the viola. Sometimes you're going to see the number 4 over a note. That indicates that you're to use your fourth finger of your left hand. Sometimes you'll see a 0 over the note. That tells you you're to play the open string. So I'm going to have the violins, the cello, and the bass play number 65. Be aware in the violins and violas in the second measure, you have fourth finger A on the D string, then you have an open A, and then you come back to that fourth finger A. And here's a hint. If you keep that tunnel in place and keep your fourth finger down, you can play that open A and be assured that that fourth finger A in the last measure will be in tune. Let's do it together, please. Ready, begin. You are starting to sound like an orchestra. That's what happens when we add these components. So now we're going over to number 66. We have something brand new for those violins. We want to get that E in place. So we're going to do this a couple of ways. For number 66, we're going to have everybody play together. And I want you to listen to hear if there's anything unusual, anything different, And if you can hear the difference between the open E on the violin and the E string on the violin. Let's play number 67 together, please. Ready, begin. So I'm going to have the cello play her line at measure, Karen, your line at 67, so they can hear the moving part, the supporting part. I'm going to ask Rachel, thank you, I'm going to ask Rachel now to play number 67 by herself. Let's have the bass and the cello together so that you could hear these supporting parts. Now we're going to play 67 together, along with the melody in the viola and the violin, with our supporting moving parts and harmonies in the bass and the cello. Number 67, ready, and. Beautiful. Did you hear it ring? When just even 4 people play together and it's well in tune, we sound like a much bigger group because those overtones stack and it becomes so beautiful. In your music, number 68, you get to be the composer again, and you're going to write your 2 half notes in each measure. In the first measure, you're going to write what indicates underneath. Each measure has a different indication of what notes you're to write in. Take a moment and do that yourself.